This is Mr. Don't BS Me with part 2. They sold us a modern payroll system. What we actually got was two systems that still don't talk to each other years later. Folks, in part 1 we looked at how Pike County ended up with Paycom. Now let's talk about what actually happened after they flipped the switch. The promise was simple, a cleaner, more efficient system. But what we got was Paycom handling payroll and the old CIC system still trying to track the money. The problem? They were never properly integrated to each other.
And I would just make one other suggestion. Sometimes I just get the feeling, and maybe I'm wrong, that you don't want us talking to Paycom.
That was Rita Hoskin, the board chair, is asking Natalie Roseberry about setting up a meeting with Paycom. From the tone, it sounds like Rita thought Natalie was being reluctant. But here's the thing. I don't think reluctance is the real issue. Paycom is not like buying a program and having someone there to help you when things go wrong. Once you purchase it, the level of ongoing technical support and aftermarket help is very limited. A lot of users have said the same thing. You're pretty much on your own after implementation. That's why I believe Natalie wasn't necessarily reluctant to set up the meeting. She probably already knew that sitting down with a Paycom rep wasn't going to magically fix the problems they were having with integration and data flow. And this brings up another issue with Paycom that doesn't get talked about enough locally. Paycom is not a simple plug-and-play system. It has a significant learning curve. Most of the organizations that use Paycom successfully are larger counties or bigger companies that have dedicated HR or IT departments whose full-time job is basically working out the bugs, building custom reports, and dealing with the communication problems between systems. Pike County doesn't have that kind of dedicated infrastructure. So when problems show up, like payroll data not talking to the CIC accounting system, there's no built-in support team to fix it quickly. Now here's something else worth thinking about. Just because something is newer doesn't automatically make it better. The old CIC system may be older, but for mid-sized and smaller counties like ours, it actually had stronger local support and was easier to work with when issues came up. Paycom, on the other hand, is built more for mid to large organizations that can afford to dedicate staff just to manage the software. When you put a system designed for bigger operations into a smaller county without that same level of support infrastructure, you create exactly the kind of problems we've been dealing with for years. Integration failures, data that doesn't flow, and constant workarounds that never quite get finished. One of the clearest examples of how bad the rollout was is the timeline. It took 18 months from the time Paycom went live in the clerk's office until the first usable payroll data actually made it to the treasurer's office. That's a year and a half with almost no real data flowing between the two systems. This wasn't just a rough start. This became a long-term structural problem. Audit issues in 2022 were directly tied to incomplete payroll data from the Paycom transition. In part 3, we're going to talk about where the responsibility for this actually lands and why the problems have continued for so long.
Nobody's coming to save you, it's up to you. So go vote and save yourself.